This game is called OpenTTD, which stands for Transport Tycoon Deluxe. OpenTTD is a business simulator game which players earn money by transporting passengers and cargo via road, rail, water and air. It's an open source remake and expansion of the 1995 Chris Sawyer video game Transport Tycoon Deluxe, and this is my childhood game. I have been playing the heck out of this game. It might look very old, but it is absolutely a lot of fun to play. I want to do between 4 or 5 parts of this game depending on how things go, and I will explain you all about it. Now, as you can see, it is absolutely crazy onto the background. This is something that has been recorded or whatever somewhere at the end of the game, I would say, because at the beginning it is very silent and you know, nothing is actually happening. Now you can play this game in single player absolutely alone, or you can play this in single player with different kind of AIs turned on, up to 9 or 10 I believe, and you can do this even with multiplayer with a lot of people. Now the maps can be very small or insanely big, and this game is for free on Steam, and it only takes up to 40 MB of space, which is literally nothing. Now we're going to click on new game, and like I said before, you can have a very small map of 46 tiles, or you can have a very insanely large map. I have been testing this yesterday, and you absolutely go for like 20 seconds from one map to the other map in large view. Now you have a yeah, you got like a forest type of area, you got a snow type of area, you got a desert type of area, or you can choose for Toyland, which is fantasy type of deal. Now you got all kinds of options down here. We will start off in 1950 and you can go up to somewhere in the year 2000 something if it's about keeping unlocking new vehicles. It is a lot of fun. Now you have a lot of more options if you want to have a lot of water or less water, a lot of towns or lesser towns. In this case, I'm just gonna click on generate and I will explain you more about this game. I'm gonna press it on pause. Now, as you can see, there is something weird going on with the trees. You might think, why are these icons very small? You can make it a bit bigger, but to be real honest, the option to scale it just a bit bigger ain't really there. It's gonna be or very big or just as small as it is, but you will get used to this over time. Now I'm just going to click on option, and by the way, if you press one of these buttons and you want to have more options, keep pressing the button and then you just go down, because if you don't do that, you just click on it, you will get the first menu that will pop up, which is game options. So you have transparency options, which is very handy. I'm just going to click on this down here, which looks like trees, turn it on and off, because sometimes it is very nice if you want to look behind the building or behind a lot of bushes to see what's going on. You can just click this for factories, you can click this for towns and all that sort of stuff. Now I'm just gonna, zoom out, and as you can see, this is I believe I just clicked it on a 512 by 512 size map, and you can just see how big this is. It is just big enough for a single player, I would just say. Now you can also have AI turn on, and I believe, if I'm not wrong, it has to be here, AI game script setting. There are tons and tons and tons of mods for this game and the whole community with it. Now at this moment the competitors are on 0 by default. As you can see, you can have a lot of these guys turn on. I would just like to play without, because when you start this game there is not really a tutorial thing going on, and you don't want to be incorrupted while learning the game. So that is very good that it's basic on to 0, but if you're a little bit more advanced into this, then you can just turn it on. Another nice thing is that you have like different kind of languages, which will give the towns kind of the name of the towns which you have in your own country. The only different thing is that, for example, Amsterdam, they will take Amster, and they take Dam, and they take another city name, cut the name in half, and they just randomize all of these parts together. So there are a lot of things you will recognize from your country, but the names are just a little bit different. And if you're very lucky, it can happen that certain names are like in real life town. But that is one other thing. Alright, it is absolutely a big to explain. So in this case, we're just going to do something already. I've been playing Cargo Transport game, and then I was already talking about this game, and that I got a lot of experience with it. And this game also has more options if it's about road railway. If you place in Transport in Cargo Tycoon, two rails near each other, they will connect automatically, and in this game that is not the case. You really have to connect everything up yourself. It's all about transport. What I would actually like to start off first is you're gonna go with trains, then vehicles, then boats, and then airplanes. So in this case we have trains. Now we need to choose something where we're gonna transport our goodies to. In this case, let me just first check out how the map is. So one of the few clear things there are these little forest areas, and you can see like farm areas. Let me just zoom in on a farm area. These are the farm areas. The farm areas will give you grain, that will give you livestock, and the forest will give you a lot of wood. Now the forest only gives you one thing, so I think that would be the best thing to start off with. The thing is also, the further you transport goodies, the more money you make. So let's just check it out. We have, if you don't want to search around, a map which is right up here. There we go. I just recently started this game back again after more than 15 years or something. And then down here you have a button which will show all of the factories onto your map, which is super duper handy, and it will show you on different color. And down here you can read what each color means, and you can also see it flashing, so you can right away see where things are at. Now I know the green stuff are the forest industry, and I believe I wanted to say brown one, but it's iron. We need to look for a sawmill. The sawmill is showing orange. We have two sawmills right down here with forest industry kind of close by, but I just find it a little bit too close. Now I'm seeing also right away that there are two forest industries right down here and a sawmill right down there. So I would like to go over there, and then I would like to start making trains and stuff. So this is gonna be our route. I want to make two stations because I think it just won't fit in just yet to take both of them in once. Now I do know these maps are randomly generated. It could be possible that you have two of these perfectly near each other, that you can place one train station and they will grab both of these. And yeah, this is like a nice distance. It's not too far and it's not too close. So above here we're going to click on build railroad track, and then you can see all kinds of options pop up. And there are a lot more options. If you click for example on the traffic lights, you can see a lot of different options here. I do not know them all, but I do know this one for example. This is a two-way traffic light. Maybe we're going to use it, maybe not. So in this case what I would like to do, I click on train station. Now there are two different ways of train station. You can go that way or train station that way. So you got number of tracks, which is going to show you like how many tracks of trains you're going to have, or you have the length of the train station. Now the thing is though, if you want to unload and load quicker, your train has to exactly fit into the train station, or your train have to be a lot smaller than a train station. But if your train is longer than a train station, it will take a longer time to unload. Now of course it will also have a price, and the more you add of these options, the more expensive. This is the most cheapest one and this is the most expensive one, and I believe each number can hold two carts. So this one can hold two carts, which will be the train, locomotive, and one cart. And each number you add, you can add two more wagons onto it. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8. I think 8 might be just too much, but what I would like to do is I would like to grab two of these. Now one wagon of wood can hold, I believe, 30 tons. So there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know as a child. So this can deliver 104 tons of wood. This can deliver 120 tons of wood, which is a lot of wood. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is there are some iron mines, and iron mines only deliver a very short amount of stuff. Other factories can deliver more amount of stuff, so it is not always that you need to have like a massive train. That is what I'm trying to say here. And there's so much to explain. Let's just start building. I want to have a train station of 4 and well, let me just say 1 and a length of 4. That is what I want to do. Now, as you can see, we just don't fit in here for both of these, and you can also see if I get the purple stuff onto the factory, it will say supplies wood. Now, I would just like to place this guy. Oh, that's just a shame. I would just like to place it right on here. The reason why, if a train goes up, it will slow down speed. Now, what we could do here, I'm not sure if I can click here and it will correct itself. Let's just try. No, it won't. I never tried that before. So what we can do is do a little bit of landscaping. All we have to do is get this little block 1 up. Now, the whole train stuff can go pretty advanced. Oh, that is the problem here. My apologies. No, it won't correct itself, so we have to raise the land. So let's just raise the land. And one thing I also notice is that, for example, this town down here is not growing. Now, if towns are growing, they're expanding, things getting bigger, things getting cramped up a lot more. I never knew that the towns wouldn't grow if you don't come close or yeah, start building in it. If you start building too close, it will start growing. If you start building in it, it will start growing, which is logic. So in this case, we have raised the land. Now we can just actually add one of these just close enough that we can catch the wood. And then I would like to cram in another one of these. It is pretty close. I'm not sure if I'm doing this 100% the correct way. I do want to give it a little bit of space between. I think this is the max amount what I can do. Right there, it says supplies wood. Very good. So let's just place this guy out here. And for the forest industry, it says create goodies. So in this case, we deliver wood and we're going to take away the goodies, and the goodies need to be brought to a city. So in this case, it would be it would make a lot of sense if we do 2 tracks for 2 trains, but you can also do 1 track. And when you do 1 track, you can play around with, like, let me just say, these traffic lights to let the incoming train stop when there is another train onto the station to load up the goodies. But in this case, I'm going to do the track length all the way to the max. The reason for that is you can also force trains to maximum load up before they leave again. And for the goodies, I would like to let the train load up to the max and leave again, which basically means we're going to need to have a longer train to get as much as possible and then bring this stuff to the city. Now I'm going to place this guy right down here for now, so we will have a shorter train and a longer train. That is all okay. Now in this case, we need to connect the whole show up. So in this case, I'm just going to take this track down here, place it like that, and have a small corner. This is a very short track, so not much speed is getting made anyways. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here until here, and then I'm just going to try and lock. I want to have this. Let me just do it like, and be careful, because if you do that, it won't be connected. The train will start rolling, but you will get a message saying the train is lost because you don't know how to get to the next station. So I believe this should be fine. And then you can just connect this all the way up without any problems. Now, of course, this train can break down, and then, you know, after 5 to 10 seconds, it will continue its way, but it will continue its way to the depot. So I'm going to place a depot kind of sorta in the middle, which will be right down here, and from this part of on, the train should be able to get there. Now this is a little bit strange for me though. I'm not quite sure if you can make that. Isn't there like... no. Let's just hope we can make it. If not, it will just pass it and then, you know, go back here. It's a very weird angle. It's almost like it's like straight away a corner. I'm just going to redo this again. Which I'm going to say, let's first go out, right? And then place this guy here. Now this will be in an angle, which means it will slow down. Because it goes around the corner and then goes around the corner again, which will slow it down. But then again, there is not much speed to be made anyways down here. And then when it comes out, it will go like this, back onto the track. I think this is a very nice way of going in and out. It is not the same angle here. So this is what we have right now. Now you can name train stations, which if you're gonna go really big, really insane, it might be handy to name certain things. So now we're gonna go into the depot, we're gonna click on a new vehicle, and down here we got a whole list with a couple of things. Now over time, when the time passes by, of course new vehicles will be invented and they will ask you, do you like to try this one? You're not paying anything for it, or you're not forced to accept it. The point, I believe, if you accept it, they will add it to your list. If you don't accept it, they won't be added to the list. Because if you're more of an advanced user, you might know certain trains you really don't want. Alright, now it also works with traction effort, KN, so many tons, so many horsepowers, and to be honest, I did never look at it back in the days, and I think I still don't want to look at it too much. Now if you got like a massive trains with tons and tons of cars onto it and the train goes slow, what you can do is add in another locomotive to increase the speed and that sort of stuff. Now I do also believe you can just add as many as you want, but the effectiveness of not breaking down will slow down. Now here you can see reliability of this one is 85%. Now over time it can be improved, it can decrease, but I believe when you buy a train on 85% and the stats will change in the shop, it will not count for your own train. It will always say 85%. I'm not quite sure. This one is 82. This one is 92. So at this moment, this train from the shop is the best one. Now anything else I do not really look at. I'm not that advanced to, start calculating and all that kind of stuff, max speed. But what could be important is the running cost. It's a pretty short track. The running cost of this is only 3,000, and this, look at this, 1,000 or 1,500 a year. Is that really that much? Well, the percentage doesn't really seem to be that different, but it's also like this thing can survive for 15 years before it has to be replaced, and this thing for 20 years, which is quite a lot. Still, I'm just gonna go for this one. Now, I was saying before the amount of the station length should be, your train should be fitting in the length of the station in order to quicker load and unload. Now I've said one station is 2 cars, so 2, 4, 6, 8. We already have a train, so we can add 7 more wooden cars. Now at the beginning, what you might want to do is don't add the maximum amount, because you never know if it will be completely loaded up. Of course you can force it to completely load up, but you might spend like too much cash on it for what you get back for it. So in this case, I'm just gonna add 4 carts plus my locomotive is 5, so I can add 3 more if really needed. I'm just gonna close it, and there are probably a lot of advanced users who, shaking their heads, maybe. Some people really love this kind of games. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna click on this one. Now the point is, in order to let goodies, or in this case wood, to be delivered onto the station from the forest, you first need to activate it. That's always with the first time. Then we're gonna go to this one, and then we're gonna go to the station. Alright, and you can name everything. You can force it to do cargoes. If I click on here, I can yeah, give it options. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it full any load, so it will take anything there is and then just deliver it, and there our first train is heading out to the location. You can zoom in quite a lot, and yes, it is very, you know, 1995 type of style, but like I've said, you can actually download mods, and you can also download mods which has a bigger quality of textures, but be aware, the bigger the quality textures, the more space it will take. It could even be that you download like a texture pack, which only one texture can be 100 MB, and while your game itself is only 40 MB, so keep that in mind. Of course, nowadays you have games that are many gigabytes big, so it should not be too much of a problem. So it has been arriving, and now as you can see, it is start delivering stuff. As you can see, it's 0, so it moves right away. Now it says 20 tons of wood. Now each cart, if you click on it, is empty, of course, but the information with capacities, it says 30 tons. So you kind of need to start calculating when it's get here, how many gets in, and then get here, how many gets in, and then it drives away. When it drives away and you see there are some leftovers, you can start adding some extra carts. Now at this moment the amount of wood that can be on here is 120. So as you can see, this one is getting pretty high, but keep in mind it only came here and it straight away drives away. Now of course, when it comes here and it takes a lot, you also should keep in mind it will stop here and then unload. At this moment it goes here and drives away right away, so the amount of time that it will fill up is a lot shorter while, you know, immediately driving away than when it needs to load and unload. It probably makes some sense at some point. Now, as you can see, profit this year is just 0. At this moment things are gonna go fine. I believe it should also show you like reliability is this much, so it's fine for now, and we can actually speed up the progress as much as you like. So now it arrives here, it says 150 tons of wood, we can carry 120, so in this case I think it would be handy if we're gonna add a lot more carts. Now what we can do here is we can just, you know, leave it be for now. Let's just pass it, and what we can also do, if we click the train real quick, we can say skip this station and move on to the other track station. Excuse me, but I'm gonna send it back to the depot and I'm gonna add those 3 leftover carts. Now keep in mind it is already, you know, lowering here, and what we could do over time is, if it really can't handle the deal of the amount of stuff that it needs to take away, we can actually remove the station and right away add a longer one, and it will remember still what happened, to say. So we're gonna buy 1, 2, 3 more of these, and right away yeah, let it move on. So if you would remove this sign down here will stay on its spot for a little while. They have done that so you can quick replace the station with a different one, and the train will still remember the routes. The amount of goodies that were in there, I believe, should be still in there. If this name will be away, then it all has to restart again. So in this case, let's speed it up just a little bit. There we go. And then it's unloading it. A nice amount of speed. We really had to put it in my face. So now you can see we have made 10,000 bucks. Now we added 3 more cards, so the price will go up. Of course, this train was costing, I believe, 20 to 30,000, and then these cards are like 2,500. So you first need to make the money back of what it costs totally. Over here it will say profit. The profit will slowly go away, because you're also paying money, maintenance and that kind of stuff. So in this case, let's just speed up the progress, and then again, and then slow it down. So now you can see this one was almost totally empty and has to restart, but this one, not at all. So what we're gonna do in this case, meanwhile the train is going to his spot, and let me just, so we can see how much money it brought. So what we're gonna do here is, I want to have a longer track on this one, so I'm gonna put the amount of tracks on 1, and we keep the length of 7. Now I'm gonna to bomb this away. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, and now as you can see the name is still there, and when we place this, I believe, yep, the goodies are still all there. Now we're gonna do the same with this guy. Yeah, keep it like that. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna grab this guy. And now we know for sure that we have maxed it out, and the amount of money is 17k. So in this case, you know, it can start filling up again. Now it might be possible that in this case, this one will always be depleted, and this one will never be depleted, and always add just a little bit extra each round we're gonna go. And in that case, you can also turn the tracks around, so it will first stop here, and then right away go to the other station. Yeah, this is really management, if you would. And yeah, let's just speed it up once again. Gonna place this here. Let's see if it can you know, deplete everything. It will be there, and as you can see, we still have something left. So what we can do, there are many different things you can do. You can or either, you know, turn this stuff around, or you can also work with double trains. Now, to be real honest, I've never really done that. But let's see if we can just turn this stuff around. So 1 will be to 2, and 2 will be 1. I have never tried this before, but I believe this should be a thing. I am not sure though. That's a good question. I have never done this. But in this case, what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna leave it with this, and in the next episode we are going to figure out to improve the capacity and the amount of money to make from this.